Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror. Today we are joined by not only the beautiful but good friend of Ashley and ours, Jennifer Nangle, Malvolia, Queen of the Screams. So for the people that don't know much about you, Jennifer, can you talk a little bit about what you do over at Malvolia, Queen of the Screams, as well as what you do yourself?
Sure. Well, I am a actress in the horror genre. And I was starting to not get cast in certain roles because people only saw me as the best friend, the girl next door. So I created this vicious, malicious character named Malvolia. She is a horror hostess, but she also kills, eats people, drinks their blood, tortures them, and just has a glorious time being mean and evil. So
all the fun stuff that goes along with it.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. So I host short horror films that the horror community will allow me to, whoever submits. And then I also do skits because acting is my one true love. So yeah. That's what I do in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I do have all of the links down here in the description, guys. So if you're not following her, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, before we get started here, I do want to go through real quick, and I want to go through some of the comments we have here.
Got comments already?
What's up, John? How you doing, buddy? Nathan, my dude.
Nathan.
How you doing, buddy? Danielle's here.
Hi. Danielle.
That horror couple's here.
Hey, guys.
What's up, guys? We just worked with them last week, so awesome. Shaim, how you doing? You guys were great last week. I agree. They're awesome. William's here. What's up, buddy? William usually comes until the puppy's got to go for a walk.
Yeah.
My Killer Podcast. How you doing?
Hello.
Super excited for the rankings. I'm sorry we had to put all you guys through this. Antonis, my good friend Antonis is here. What's up, buddy? So the same for everything as always. You do not have to do a super chat for us to read your comment or for you to read along with us. We are more than happy to read your comments without you paying us to do so. However, if you do want to give a donation, we appreciate it. Everything that comes into Sledgehammer Horror goes back out to Sledgehammer Horror. Now, Jennifer, before we get started, people that are watching, if you've been listening to the promotion, you'll notice that Rudy's movie reviews is not here. Rudy had some family stuff happen, so he won't be able to make it tonight. I do strongly recommend you still checking out his channel, Rudy's Movie Reviews. Make sure you subscribe to him. He will be working with us again on the live in the future, but family is always first. That's something that we are totally agreeing with. I lost my mother at a young age. She lost her father at a young age, and your family always comes before live streams. So there's no hard feelings. I still strongly recommend you checking him out. You will be seeing him this Tuesday on My First Horror Movie, so you'll get to know him a little bit there. So now we talked a little bit about what you do, Jennifer, but now I'm going to ruin the rest of your night, and we're going to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I am dressed the part.
Woo!
So
look at you! I love it.
We are ready to. And our buddy that's always in the background, Chucky's back here.
He's supporting his little chainsaw.
You gotta move your head, Mom.
Oh, my big
With
head.
his chainsaw. So Chucky's back here, guys, ready to cut some shit up.
Being a sport.
Oh, you guys are amazing.
Aw, thank you.
We love you guys. Can't wait to work with you again. So now, as always, I will start the list off first. And again, for people that are watching, we are ranking the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. And this is a franchise, as always, I don't know Ashley's list. I don't know Jennifer's list. I don't think it's fun when we know each other's list.
Right.
So what we're going to do here is we are going to be ranking this franchise. And usually it's hard for us to get... we got baby issues.
Right.
You want to talk about the bottom of the list real quick? Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. So usually it's hard for us to figure out what movie is our favorite or second favorite or third favorite of the franchise. But tonight the problem is finding out which ones were the bottom of the list because we just did not like this franchise. Daniel, don't worry, buddy. We haven't even started yet. You're here and we appreciate you. So we got baby issues right now. So just a little bit about the Sledge household right now, guys. And this isn't just to buy time till Ashley gets back. All our kids are sick right now. Our kids are all down and out with the flu. It's not COVID, thank God. That's already gone through our house, but they are sick right now. So Mama's trying to take care of the baby for a little bit. So can you tell us, Jennifer, anything you have coming up for Malvolia, Queen of the Screams, or anything you got coming up in your world?
Well, I'm just finishing up season 5. I have about 4 or 5 more shorts I'm hosting. And that's pretty much it. I didn't have a chance to do a Christmas special this year. Because I don't know about you, but this year was crazy and it was very slow. And then all of a sudden, here we are at Christmas. It's just wacky. So unfortunately, that's almost done with. But next, in a couple weeks, I am shooting with indie film director Dustin Ferguson. I am a part of Apex 2, the shark movie. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it's a shark movie, but I just did. So Apex 2. And then starting out the new year, I'll be adventuring into a feature film horror anthology that I'm putting together and also hosting as Malvolia. So if there are any filmmakers out there that have any horror short scripts that have a female villain take place in one location and there's a ton of bloodshed and gore, send it to your girl because I will take it into consideration for the horror anthology. And then I also have a feature film that was written for me about 6 months ago that we will be putting into production next year as well too. So just little preparations for both of those.
That is so awesome, and I'm so proud of you. I'm going to pimp this a little bit for those of you that haven't watched. Jennifer's episode of My First Horror Movie was fucking fantastic, and to watch the growth that you've had, you are really, and this is not a knock at her, but you really are a modern-day Elvira. Malvolia is perfect. You are perfect. I love you. I love working with you. We're friends outside of this, so maybe I am kissing your ass a little bit, but
keep going,
I love
keep
your
going.
content.
You're doing good.
That's how we're doing all this. So, while we're waiting, I want to catch up on the chat a little bit. How's she feeling?
Not good.
That sucks.
Sorry, guys. We got 3 sick kids right now, and I thought
That's what
they
I
were
said.
all sleeping.
Thank God it's not COVID. Praying hard and deeply for your kids, Ken and Ashley. Sorry your kids are going through this. Thank you, Cheyenne.
you.
We appreciate it. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm glad you do, buddy. Like I said, I'm not here trying to knock anybody. It's just not for us. If you guys like it, that's fucking awesome. And I hope you get enjoyment out of the franchise and out of what we're doing here. You know me, I would never knock art. If you're making art, I'm so happy and I'm so glad, but this just is not for us. Father Mahoney, hey all, hey Jen. Hi, Father Mahoney.
Hi, Rob.
I do want to say one last time before we get it started. If you have not yet, please go subscribe to Jennifer's accounts. They're down here in the description. If this is your first time here at Sledgehammer Horror, hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you along for the ride and let's have some fun. What was the first one you saw in theater? Saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre at a drive-in in 76 or 77. The first Texas Chainsaw Massacre I seen in the theater was the Reboot. We saw the Reboot together in the theater.
Yeah.
She loved it. I was greatly disappointed, and you'll find out why here in a little bit. What about you, Jennifer? What was the first Texas Chainsaw you've seen in cinema?
I believe it was in an actual movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't think any of them.
You lucky ass.
I think I've seen everything either on DVD or video, VHS. I saw the Reboot on VHS for sure. Yeah, DVD, not in the theater. Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Sean says, Texas Chainsaw, love the remake in the beginning, the 1974. I think it's good for legacy more than actually being a good movie, but I like it. The rest are B movie, okay, and Next Generation is crap. Yeah. My favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the second one. Good on you, Antonis. The first one I ever saw was Texas Chainsaw, the Next Generation. Sorry. Hey, it's got to start somewhere. And you know what? I'll tell you, we'll start the list now. Texas Chainsaw, the Next Generation is not my least favorite, which I know it's everybody's least favorite that I've ever met. But for me personally, my least favorite is Leatherface from 1990, the third installment. One thing I don't like is when they try to put rape and sexual assault in movies where it doesn't have a place for it. And in this one, they really insinuate the fact that Leatherface is a rapist, and that's how he has his daughter. I think the family sucks. The plot's boring. There's not really any great kills. The only good thing about that one for me is the Saw Its Family chainsaw. I think that's the only cool thing for me in this whole movie. It's the most forgettable of the whole franchise to me personally. So for me personally, look at my list.
I wasn't looking.
Oh, cheating! No, just kidding.
Coming in number 8 is Leatherface from 1990, the third installment in the franchise. What about you, Mama?
So number 8 for me is The Next Generation.
Figured.
I just like Matthew McConaughey. What's up with him? Like he's always screaming and just like overacting, and even his manager didn't want that like release because he was like, this is gonna ruin him. Like it was ridiculous. It made me chuckle, like most of it. And then Leatherface's name was just Leather, like he wasn't Leatherface. The Sawyers were the Slaughter family.
Yeah, the names are always like changing in every movie.
Yeah, like there's no like
consistency
with this at all.
I think this one, besides Halloween has a fucked up timeline.
Yeah.
But the timelines and the inconsistencies in Texas Chainsaw is what makes this franchise suck for me.
Yeah. The teen characters are just, most of them are obnoxious. Like the two that are driving, like those two, they're super obnoxious.
It's funny because I can kind of gauge, because as we get ready to make these lists, Ashley and I watch the movies all together. And I try to watch her face to kind of see. I had a feeling this was going to be her least favorite, because honestly, throughout this whole movie, she was just like, "Oh my god, these teens are fucking stupid."
This was the first movie, like in the Texas Chainsaw franchise, that I ever seen, like as a kid. It was the first one, and I was like, I have no need to watch any more of these. Like this sucks.
Yeah.
And like the conspiracy theory, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's all over the place, and. Yeah, and Matthew McConaughey, he just makes me laugh in that.
All right. Next generation. What about you, Jen? What's the last place for you?
So I'm going to admit to everybody that I rewatched all of these but two, because I couldn't really get my hands on them. And one of them was the New Generation. So I just watched highlights of it on YouTube. And that is going to be my bottom one, New Generation. It's kooky. It's weird. Matthew McConaughey is like out there. Yeah, it's just too much. I mean, I get the 90s was a little bit strange when it came to cinema, but like just wackiness, just absolute weirdness.
He's always like, woo! Like,
yeah, he is fucking nuts in that movie.
I guess
too over the top
because the whole family's insane.
Yeah,
but he's over the top.
So let's catch up with the chat a little bit before we move on to our number 7s. The horror couple says the remake is my personal favorite. Okay, I can dig it. The Next Generation, big load of crap. Nathan, hey Steve,
hi.
What's up, buddy? Matthew McConaughey was great in The Next Generation. I agree. Like, that's why this movie's not my last place. Next Generation is the worst horror movie I've ever seen. At least a contender for Freddy's Dead and Seed of Chucky. Dude, you have to watch The Exorcist too. That's honestly my least favorite movie ever made. I can see what you mean there. Next Generation and Leatherface swap back and forth for me. 8th, New Generation. I don't know what the hell I watched. Watching that.
That's how I felt too. Like, what is that?
So you want to get us started with number 7, my love?
Yes. So number 7 for me was Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1990.
Okay, the third.
The third one.
Okay.
Yes. I felt like that one was the most forgettable. It doesn't really go with the other films, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And then like Leatherface has a daughter, and it was like a part of like the sexual rape or whatever, and I think that's weird. And why does Leatherface need a kid? Like he
super gross.
Yeah, it's nasty. There's like a mom in this one. I don't know. It's just a weird film.
It is. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. Obviously, I didn't like it. It was my least favorite. So good call.
Thanks.
What about you, Jen? What comes in at number 7 for you?
That is also my least favorite, the third one. And again, I only got to see the highlights. Maybe I was very lucky because of that. But yeah, again, the kid was weird. The rape was weird. None of the characters really stuck out. It didn't seem like really anything happened at all. It was just like these little things happening. And then I learned from watching the highlights that the ending was refilmed for the guy to survive because everybody liked that character. And then I think he like does die at the end, or he gets hit or something. I don't know. It was nothing happened.
Yeah.
You're right. You definitely did not miss much. So coming number 7 for me is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, number 4. Now I said it wasn't last, but I didn't say it was high up the list. What I can say is at least it's not boring. Like, we're all talking about how over the top Matthew McConaughey is, but at least he was entertaining in the movie. That's like true. He made me laugh. Boo!
Yeah,
like
that horrible noise when he
he's
falls.
so goofy and funny. I do like the mechanical leg kill when he's like tightening up the leg and crushes her head. Like I do like that kill, and Matthew McConaughey's all like super into it. Like I do like that. But now here's where it really falls down for me. The Illuminati shit is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. The worst ending, an airplane just comes out of nowhere, hits Matthew McConaughey and flies off.
Whose plane was that? Like, what was
At first,
that?
I thought maybe it was the Illuminati people.
Yeah, but then they picked
the girl up.
Yeah.
So it's not them. So like just some guys out dusting crops, and he's like,
hey, let's hit this guy.
Is that it wouldn't hit him. Like, so for me, coming in number 7 easily was The Next Generation. So before you start us off with number 6, let's catch up on chat a little bit, as we like to do in between. Matthew was great. Yes, Matthew was a great psycho. I completely agree. That's why Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 is not my least favorite, because at least he made it fun. Everybody talks about Renee Zellweger. She was flat in her performance, and she was. But Matthew McConaughey, if you would have had somebody different in that spot, this would have easily been my least favorite. Because at least Matthew McConaughey made me laugh and gave me some enjoyable moments that I'll always remember. Even though he completely ripped off his own character when he walks in the house, he's like, all right. Father Mahoney, the Leatherface standalone film in England was the worst. Ooh, you're going to hate my list, my friend. Spider-Man new movie was awesome. Listen, Steve, I appreciate you saying that, but please no spoilers.
We're supposed to go see it, but we got sick kids.
We got sick kids, so we weren't able to see it. And not just that, but we don't spoil anything until it's out on physical media. So even if it's been out for a couple weeks, whatever, until it's released on physical media, we do absolutely no spoilers. So please, my friend, no spoilers, because I will be so sad if I read any more spoilers about this.
You already read one, though.
Nathan, I did. Nathan says number 7, Leatherface, is another piece of shit. I agree. I'm a casual Exorcist fan at best, so no, my not watching Exorcist 2. Yeah, it's awful. The worst film I've ever seen. Number 7, Leatherface, forgettable as hell. I don't remember a thing about it to the point where I forget it exists. Leatherface daughter also plays young Tina on Friday the 13th Part 7. Yes, she does. The Tina that kills her dad out on the dock. Texas Chainsaw 3, I like some parts. Love Leatherface, despite the rape thing and the swamp setting at night, but the characters are pretty bad, except Ken Foray. See, Ken Foray is the only good thing about that movie. I do love Ken Foray. And he's just a big monster of a dude, and he's a sweetheart. I love Ken Foray. It's so wild to think how much time between 1 and 2 films, and then they could. Yeah, you're right. There was 13 years in between Texas Chainsaw 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Hey Art, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Cal's here. What's going on, buddy? I'd love a live discussion on the Sleepaway Camp movie sometime. You got it. The next franchise ranking we do will be on the Sleepaway Camp franchise. I'm going to write that down right now. So Jennifer, do you want to start us off with your number 6?
Let's do it. My number 6 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning from 2006.
All right.
Okay.
First of all, why? Second of all, Snorefest. Third of all, what was the point? I mean, Matt Bomber was great to look at, but other than that, I was kind of bored. I mean, I really love how they brought all the characters back, and you kind of found out like why they are in the reboot and all that kind of stuff, but it just didn't have any oomph. It didn't, I don't know, there really wasn't much action. We're just watching Jordana Brewster just kind of run, try and find her friends, and there they are. They're just, being held hostage, and things are hurting them, and then it was over.
Yeah.
Started how it ended.
I do agree with you. So your number 6 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. My number 6 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning.
What?
The 6th in the franchise. Obviously, R. Lee Ermey is amazing, as always, and it is cool to learn how he became Sheriff Hoyt.
Yeah.
Holden's death, where they lay him on the chainsaw and come up through his body, was pretty sweet. But besides that, it's very boring, very predictable, because it's a prequel. So the kids are all going to die.
Right.
You know that there's no real peril for R. Lee Ermey or Leatherface or anything, because it's a prequel. I like Dean's death when he's lifted in the air with the saw on his back and they're sawing.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I always do try to find positives in these. So for me, I would have to put that at number 6. What about you, my love?
So funny enough, mine is also Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning.
What?
Take away. So pretty much for the same reasons you guys said, it's super forgettable. And
Super.
you know, obviously, it's a prequel, and you already know what's gonna happen. So, and I do like you said, how you find out how Sheriff Holt, because he wasn't really ever a sheriff, he just killed that guy and was like, I'm the sheriff now, because he was the only sheriff in town, I guess.
Yeah.
The only cop in town.
Yeah.
And he was moving anyway, so moving to Michigan.
But yeah, and also like the final girl dies, like I don't know.
That is one thing I can say about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is they are not scared to kill their final girl.
Yeah, they are.
And I do enjoy that. I love the fact that there's no one safe in these movies ever. There is a lot of final girls that die throughout this franchise, and I am a fan of that. So I can say that this franchise does have that going for it.
Yeah. So
I'm glad they just killed them all off because honestly, we didn't need another.
no.
So before we get into our number 5, guys, we will catch up on the chat. Do you like the look of Leatherface in part 3? I do. I don't think it's bad, his look, but again, it's just there's so much wrong with the movie that it's hard for me to go back. Did you like how Leatherface looked in 3?
Yeah, I don't think he looked. Yeah, it was okay.
But there was never a Leatherface that I thought looked bad.
I don't know, 4 where he's like
I
a
guess.
woman or whatever. That's
probably the worst.
Yeah.
Bib, got my whiskey. Let's go. That's how we felt when we were getting ready to watch them. We are so down to do another franchise live with you guys. Hit me up. We will definitely do it. Can I be part of the Sleepaway Camp episode? Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. I would love to have you be a part of it. Just hit me up, send me a message, Sledgehammer Horror, and we'll make that work. Jennifer, your studio is cool. How long did it take you to do it?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very, very easy. It's just curtains, lights, dead flowers some guy gave me, a dead baby, and a chopped off head. That
no guy gave you that. Right?
no. Well, shh, don't tell anybody. I mean, everybody knows now. No, my special effects artist, she let me borrow all of these things. And yeah, just that's those aren't real arms. There aren't really ghosts there. That's just a curtain. So
yeah, you know
right.
Somebody actually on Facebook, I forget who it was, but somebody was like, "There's a hand behind you. There's a hand," and I was like, "Yo, it's a curtain. I gotta." Okay.
But like, what? No.
What? I had no idea. The voice is in my head.
This is Leatherface 2017. Love you, Nathan. Sean, the beginning is easily one of the best movies in the series. Best Leatherface, R. Lee Ermey, badass, and characters I actually care about. Sure, I prefer it much more than this. But I prefer it. Wow. Okay. Hey guys, what's up, Jay?
Hey.
Nice to have you here, buddy. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. It means a lot to us. Shiny, number 6, the beginning, for all the same reasons Jennifer said, and the fact that no one survived at all. Very boring and pointless, but R. Lee was hilarious. Yes, he is. No spoilers on New Batman. I will say you will be. Oh yeah, for sure. Y'all crazy. Texas 03, the best. Then the beginning is second, and Generations third because it's funny as hell. And the girl be definitely on the face when she runs. Texas 3D was the worst for me. That made me want to claw my eyes out. I don't get why people love the remake, yet the beginning is down a good bit on people's list. It's strange to me. The remake is better, but the beginning is not for quality wise. But you'll see how I feel about the remake soon too. Nene, yo, what's up? What's up, buddy? Jennifer has the Morticia Adams thing going tonight. She has a beautiful Morticia going all the time.
Always.
My boy Ken looking sharp. Thoughts on the Rob Zombie Leatherface movie? We just talked. I just did my first horror movie where we talked about Rob Zombie a lot, and thank you, by the way, for saying my Leatherface getup looks nice tonight. I would love to see, like, we're talking about Rob Zombie with the Munsters coming out, and I would love to see him doing something out of his comfort zone. I don't want to see the same type of dialogue. I don't want to see the same type of trailer trash family. I would like to see Rob Zombie step out of his comfort zone and make something that's not Rob Zombie, if that makes any sense. So would I like to see a Rob Zombie Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Sure, of course I would. But I would like to see him step out of his comfort zone. I don't want to see what he did with Halloween in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You don't need to have all the trailer trash and all that stuff, but actually that would probably work out better in Texas Chainsaw than it would in Halloween. So I don't know. I'd like to see it though. It'd be gory and that'd be awesome. Malvolia is the queen. You're not wrong. I'm loving your presence so much, Jennifer. You're a whole gem. Also don't agree.
Thank you.
Thoughts on the new Texas Chainsaw coming out on Netflix? I mean, I'm excited for it. It's a, you know, it's a direct sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mhm.
So sequel or prequel, one of the two. But either way, you know, it can't be any worse than what we've already seen is the mindset I'm in. So yes, they do have a new Texas Chainsaw coming to Netflix in February. It was going to get a theatrical release. I don't know what happened with that. So it is a big budget. It does have a big budget, but it is a Netflix original coming in February. Give me Guillermo del Toro directed. Oh, yeah, with Tyler Mane as Leatherface. That'd be badass. I would love to see that. Besides the timeline of Texas 3D, I enjoyed it. Ashley and Jennifer are beautiful ladies. Yes, they
Thank
are.
you.
I am
Thank
so
you.
lucky to be surrounded by these beautiful women every day of my life.
Aww.
So we just did number 6. So coming in at number 5 for me is Texas Chainsaw 3D, the 7th in the franchise. I do not like 3D in general. It makes me feel like motion sick, and so it's something that really I don't like. I do love the opening with Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley is a fucking god, and watching him in that role was amazing. Watching them fight in the Hartmans. Some of the kills in this movie are okay. The carnival scene is fun, I guess. You know, seeing Leatherface go through a carnival. I would have liked to have had him kill more people throughout that instead of just running through the middle of the carnival. So I think that would be really cool. 40 years later, the baby Heather is 28 years old.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
that to me
it
is
doesn't make any
kind of
sense.
goofy.
Yeah.
There's terrible effects. I hate the 3D in it. Like I said at the beginning, I don't like 3D anyway. But the effects in it just look really bad.
Mhm.
Like old school computer floppy disk bad. Like they did not spend a lot of money on that, in my opinion. And I just don't like I don't get how Jennifer or Heather, like she's got all her friends with her, and then she just all of a sudden turns and becomes do your thing, cuz.
Yeah.
And throws in the chainsaw. Like, ugh, shut up.
Right.
Like, so the character development aspects of it were pretty lame to me too. So it obviously isn't the worst to me, but I'll tell you this: 5 through 8 at any time could be my least favorite. The hardest part about this list was figuring out which one I disliked the most. So
Yeah.
you know, that for me was the hardest part. So coming in at number 5 is Texas Chainsaw 3D. After this, the next 4 I actually enjoy. So
Okay.
you want to give your number 5, my love?
Yep. So my number 5 is Leatherface 2017. Number 8.
That's that low?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll listen.
You better listen.
I can't wait to add on mine.
So it's odd. Like the characters, I don't know. Clarice, like she has sex with like a dead guy or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Very weird.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel that much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I guess, because of the plot of it. And then there's like the side plot where the mom is like, she's giving the deputy money to like find information about her kids. Yeah.
That actress is awesome, though.
The mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's her name?
I can't think of her name, but
Yeah.
she was in.
I'm blanking on it too. I know.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
She was in The Conjuring. She was in Ransom with Mel
Yeah.
Gibson. Back in the day, she was one of the kidnappers that kidnapped Mel Gibson's son. Like, I like her a lot. I think she's a great actress. So she was one of the high points of that movie for me, too.
Lily Taylor? No.
That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
Lily Taylor? Yeah.
I do like how like Izzy at the end though is like, your mom is making you crazy, or she's a psycho or something like that, and then he shoots her. Or does he shoot her?
No,
Or
he cuts her head off.
He cuts her head off.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
completely
Why would he
decapitates
shoot
her.
her? It's- but yeah. Yeah. It's just weird.
All right. You want to give us yours, Jennifer?
Mine is also Leatherface 2017.
I feel like our list has been
Very
pretty
similar.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna add on, for me again, it was a very slow burn. I just felt like a lot of things were just thrown in there to throw in there. Like when they shoot the girl in the diner, I'm just kind of like, what's, like, it was just to cause chaos. It wasn't,
Yeah.
really pertaining to any type of story. Visually, it was absolutely beautiful. The special effects were dope, but I'm a story girl, and that story just fell flat. I think my favorite part about that whole movie was when he was sewing the mask into him, and when he put and I'm like, oh my God, I think I figured out how they did it. When he would pull out the string and it would be bloody, but it went in like normal and stuff. I was like, that's so cool. I love that. But everything else, I mean, and I love me some Stevie Dorff, you know, I love him, but yeah, this just fell flat. Hardcore flat.
Well, I also forgot to mention like the twist about it, like how Bud wasn't really Leatherface. Like, he is Leatherface. Like, he was the one that should have been Leatherface. And
it was very confusing. Yeah.
And I can say this now: the actor that plays Bud will be a guest on an upcoming episode of my first horror movie.
Ooh.
So I'm very excited to get some behind the scenes info about this movie. So, coming in at number 4 for me, which has not been talked about yet, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 5th installment from 2003, the remake. This is one of those movies that I just don't know what it is. I've talked about it before. It's like The Big Bang Theory and Starbucks. Like, I want to like it so bad, but when I drink it and it tastes like shit, I can't like it. There are scenes that are cool, like when the girl shoots herself and the camera goes through the hole in her head. That's sick. When you see Leatherface run out and he actually has her boyfriend's head face over his, that's cool as shit. Arlie Ermey's great. Jessica Biel obviously is so amazing. But there's just so much about this movie that just fell flat for me. I do like the film. You know, like, obviously it's not one of the worst in the franchise. And it did, one good thing about it, it is bloody, it is gory, and it did kick off a whole new appreciation for the genre, and it started to bring remakes back together. We did get some good remakes because of this one. So coming in at number 4 for me is Texas Chainsaw, the remake. Now, before we move on to number 3, our bronze medal, I would like to catch up on the chat a little bit.
I haven't done my 4.
Oh, you haven't? Jennifer started that one?
I didn't do it either.
Yeah, you skipped the chat and you went to year 4.
Oh, I did skip the chat, didn't I?
You did.
Damn. Okay, well, we'll do the chat and then you guys will do your 4. I'm sorry, I messed that up. I started the last one. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm an idiot.
We can fix it. It's fixable.
I gotta remember where we were in the chat. I'm so sorry, guys. Ashley and Jennifer are beautiful ladies. There we were. Jennifer, do you think the horror couple should renew the vows at Comic-Con in San Diego and you officiate?
Hell yeah, I'll get right on that. Let's do it. Yeah, I got a whole year to prepare. Yes.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Netflix. I don't have faith in it, but hey, I'm saving money. At least after Leatherface, I'm kind of burnt out on this series. I feel you. Ashley and Jennifer are fine, but my Ken holding his own.
Oh,
I tried.
Chef's
I wonder,
kiss.
is it better for horror franchises to go more streaming channels? You know what? I think that's what most of the world wants, because the Academy and everything, they kind of poo-poo at horror movies. And you look at what, even though I wasn't a fan of it as a horror movie, look at the money that Candyman brought in. Look at the money that Halloween Kills brought in during a pandemic. So horror, if you do it right and you advertise it right, it can make a lot of money. But there's also nothing to poo-poo at about streaming. If you're hitting a streaming service, good for you. That's great. Mm-hmm. The more horror content we can get out there, the better. We need to get more people to appreciate. I personally think that horror is the best storytelling there is. People go into it and they, like I said, they hate it because there's killing and violence. But if you look at the story of horror, I think that there's so many great stories that come along with horror movies. The People Under the Stairs being one.
Yeah.
You know, the messages that horror conveys is amazing. So
they push more than just killing and stuff like that. Like
right. They actually have meanings behind them. So I'm totally in for horror to be any way you can get it, get it. 5, Texas Chainsaw 2013, Nathan, my guy. I can find something enjoyable in all the films. I think I saw the second one first, which is weird. Ed Gein is an interesting character and one of my favorite true crime stories also. I still think when it comes to true crime, for me, it's got to be, I can't think of his name, Ted Bundy.
Oh,
That's such a crazy story. You know, how he was so charismatic, and it's so sad
Narcissist.
he wasted his
Sociopath.
life.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie almost did it with Lords of Salem. That movie was almost incredible. If only he had somebody make edits to the script. I agree. Rob Zombie needs a writing partner that can come in and say, "Yo, dude, chill."
Like, bring it back just a couple.
Yeah. Shiny. Number 5, Texas Chainsaw 4. Again, I didn't know what the hell I was watching, and it does not help that it's so badly disjointed. It is very disjointed. Texas 3D is not a good movie, but I like it as a B movie. Horror movie, the timeline is nonsense, and the ending is like really you let them get away. But in the series, it's decent enough. I'd like to see another Top 10 Slashers Part 2. You got it, buddy. You know, if you want it, you'll get it. I agree. Give me Top 10 Slashers once a week. That horror couple, I'll check it out later on. Please do. Texas, originally highly overrated. Not good to me, although I watched it on VHS days. Movie was so dark I couldn't see what was happening. Movie was darker than Alien vs. Predators 2. Hey, Cal. Leatherface 2017. I can't say I like it. I like how it's a Devil's Rejects movie ripoff, but the sex scene is cringe. Too far, and the guy who becomes Leatherface defies logic, is piss poor script and writing. Then we're talking about how I canceled you guys for having that movie so low. I think for that they kept remaking it, so they tried to make it different. I feel Leatherface wasn't bad. I like the semi-twist. I'm not too hard on that. Poor Ashley and Jennifer join forces against Ken and take y'all's power back from being canceled.
We will. I get canceled all the time.
Right. Nate's number 4 is Texas Chainsaw 2. Ken, you ain't wrong. Starbucks is ass. McDonald's iced coffee, the bomb. My favorite part of McDonald's is the iced coffee. Met Bill Mosley and got to talk to him about paying tribute to Jim. Yes, Drayton Sawyer. That's so awesome. I would love to meet Bill Mosley. He's one of the people that are top 5 for me to meet and come on my first horror movie. Shaim, number 4, Texas Chainsaw 3D. I thought it was enjoyable enough for what it was. Do you think? Cuz is one I can't excuse. Fix it in post. We're introduced to a lot of new channels through these live streams. That's what I want, guys. Like, we do these live streams because I get to hang out with all of you in the comments, but also because I want my friends for you guys to find them. And I wouldn't bring them on here if their content was crap. I wouldn't put my name on that. Obviously, I love Jennifer. I love Malvolio. She does great stuff. So I want you guys to check it out. I want to share her with you so you guys can appreciate her as well. The remake, I think, is the best movie in the series by a mile. Good mix of suspense and gore. Arlie, Army, and Leatherface are the best characters in the series, and I love the characters in this movie. That's fair. I completely respect that. Totally respect it. I can agree that the storytelling in horror can be done well. Not a fan over going to streaming places like Netflix because they want release physical. See, and that is the one thing. We are huge physical media people. I think that Netflix needs to do like they did with Stranger Things, and once it has been out on Netflix for a while, release it with physical media. It just makes sense because you're going to make more money that way too, because the money that they make off physical media goes right back into Netflix. So Father says, I got a podcast as well. Well,
He does.
I'm telling you, buddy, all you got to do if you get a hold of me on social media, we'll pimp your podcast on our Live About Sleepaway Camp, and we'll have a great time. I do love physical copies, but Shudder is amazing. Shudder is our favorite streaming service. 100%, hands down, no questions asked. So since I fucked everything up and I did my number 4, Ash, would you like to go with your number 4?
Sure. Mine is Chainsaw 3D. For pretty much the same reasons you said. The timeline's screwed. Like, it's 40 years later, but she's only 23. The victims are just dumb. Like the friends. And so her cousin killed all of her friends, but then because it's her cousin, she's like, do your thing, cuz that's just weird. Like, why?
If you just killed everybody that I grew up with,
I love this guy, and you killed him, but
don't lie. If someone killed me, you'd go with them right away.
Well,
do your thing, cuz.
Do your thing, cuz. Yeah. Cut him in pieces. And then like the 2 different family feuds. Like, what was that about? I don't know.
Wait, are you talking about
like
what are their names?
It's not
the Hartmans.
Yeah, the Hartmans
and the Sawyers.
But it's not the Sawyers.
It's not. It's Hewitt. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Hewitt.
Yeah, because they never can have the same last name in any of these.
I don't understand. They all have different it was Jedediah, and then his name changed in another movie. I was like, wait, what are we doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
No consistency.
No consistency at all in these.
Well, you still did good. You want to give us your number 4, Jen?
Yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain, y'all. I'm sorry. Mine is gonna be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Okay.
I don't really understand why it took 10 years to make a second one. I feel like it wasn't the director's choice to have it super zany and super weird and super out there. I feel like some distribution or producer was like, this is the way it's got to be if we're gonna make this. This is how it's got to go. All the characters are very strange and very out there. I just feel like, I'd be scared to go to Texas knowing that they are there. The little dungeon is very strange how she stumbled upon it, and also very creepy and weird. Hands down, the only thing that was great about that movie was Caroline Williams. I mean, she blew it out of the water. She did the best she could with what she had. And Chop Top, heard him for forever, but it was a little zany. It was a little strange.
Right.
So yeah, that's my
his little bald spot.
Peels
Like,
it off.
constantly-
And then the hanger.
Yeah, constantly great because he's got like, that metal.
That hanger thing was weird too. Sizzle. I don't know.
So yeah, that's everybody's number 4 now. Since I fucked that all up, we'll catch up on the chat a little bit, and then we'll go into number 3. Again, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I did that.
It's okay.
Share Jennifer.
Okay.
This is the hottest threesome I've seen. This is the hottest threesome you're ever gonna see. Right
Ever.
Yeah, I do wish they'd do more physical stuff as well. See, my big thing is I love behind the scenes work. I love watching audio commentary over top of film.
Mm-hmm.
I love to learn as much as I can possibly learn about a film. And so physical media is very important for me for that aspect. I wish that they would do more of that with streaming services. Like
Voodoo
they did
has
with
it.
Stranger Things. They had Beyond Stranger Things, where you got to have some of the behind the scenes stuff happen watching Beyond Stranger Things. And I would love if they did that more through streaming services. Any way we can get horror is fine with me and puts new eyes on films, which is always a good thing. I agree. I completely agree, because we talk about this on the streams a lot, but it really bugs me when people are like, oh, when you have people in October that talk about, oh, I like watching horror movies in October. And then you get other people like, yeah, well, we watch horror movies all year round. So fuck you. Like, that's such a dick thing to do, man. Like, bring them in. Hey, if you like them in October, you should try to watch Krampus on Christmas Eve. Like, really let them know that horror is an all year round thing, not just when you carve pumpkins. So if we can get more horror out there, I would love to get as much out there as we can. I'm not a physical media guy, at least if not necessary. Not every movie is on streaming, but Texas 2022 on Netflix does not bother me. I agree. Texas 3D has moments, though, and I do like the do your thing, because I don't find a F mindset is in her blood. She embraced it. And I get it. I didn't like it, but I get it. It's just interesting to see the cycles. We've had F13 TV show, the Nightmare and Poltergeist show syndicated back in the day. I would love to see them do more stuff like that. And I think that Chucky just showed that can work. Mm-hmm. You can do a TV show based around horror and make it work. The Purge, I didn't think that show was bad. We really liked the Mist TV show.
We did.
So, I think horror can absolutely work as a TV show. William Curry, Bates Motel. I must have missed that one. Texas Chainsaw 2 has grown on me. It's not a good movie, and I hate Leatherface, but it's a wild ride, which I can enjoy enough, and Chop Top is good. I ran into a Caroline Williams fan page years ago because management wanted to do her own promoting. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was Canon Films, I think. Makes me wonder how much Hooper had control. Number 3, Texas 2. I enjoyed how batshit crazy the film was and beautifully shot. Caroline Williams was bae as well. So much fun. Man, I hear you guys all talking about Caroline Williams, and man, it's so weird because her and I had a feud on the internet.
I know. That makes me sad. That was so sad.
Know, it bummed me out. It's such a bum. I obviously haven't talked about Texas Chainsaw 2, but just the way that I'm not even gonna get into it. It's just weird. Caroline is super sweet. Huh. Maybe I love the
certain
commentary
people.
For Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74. Gunnar Hansen was hilarious. Purge season 1, you didn't like? No, we did like it.
Yeah,
we liked it a lot actually. Watch Bates Motel. Yeah, Bates Motel was another good one. We kind of fell off there at the end, but Bates Motel was another great one. Mm-hmm. So since I like a jackass started number 4, my love, would you like to start number 3?
Yes. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this movie. It's crazy. Buzz and Rick, the guys in the car, they're so annoying.
Oh.
Yeah, how they get ran off the car. And I have to say, the cook-off thing where Drayton like wins the chili cook-off, and he's like, he says something about he knows where to get the best meat. It grosses me out because it's human, and it's like
Sweeney Todd. Yeah.
Yeah. I do, however, like the makeup that they do on LG, her partner, how like his face is ripped off. Like I think that looks really cool.
Yeah.
And the chainsaw fight with Lefty and Leatherface, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that was cool.
So yeah, that's my number 3.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What about you, Jennifer? What comes at number 3 for you?
Mine is Texas Chainsaw 3D. But I also didn't see it with the 3D part. That's why I was like, why is this even 3D? I clearly missed what y'all saw. But what I really liked 3D because I was really into the story. And I don't know why. I think I really suspended my disbelief that day. And I was in it to win it with this girl. I really liked all the characters. I liked how they met the hitchhiker, and they added that back in from the original and all that. I liked how she got the house and she didn't know that he was there. I liked the kills. I don't know. There was just something about this movie that I just really was like into it, and I liked it, and it really kept my attention the whole time. I didn't go on my phone once. I really liked how she also had that discovery when she was in the police station. It seemed throughout the whole thing that she was like no, this is wrong, whatever, I can't do this. And then when she realized who she really was and where she came from, she was like, yeah, blood is thicker than water. Let's fucking do it. Oop, I said the F word. Okay. I didn't know if I could. But she was like, let's freaking do this. The game is on. And I just really loved the kill scene at the meat plant. I liked how they introduced the meat plant like that. Yeah, I was in with that one. I liked it.
Okay.
Again, here's what I love about this. We can all watch the same movies and have completely different opinions.
Totally.
That's what makes this so much fun. That's why I love the horror world, because no one's going to be shitty for you. My number 3 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which used to be my favorite until I met Caroline Williams. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking, guys. I do like this movie a lot. I agree, it came out way after, and I do think that as a sequel, it's not the greatest because of how quirky it is. But as its own film, I do like it because I'm a big horror comedy guy. Chop Top's great. It's absolutely great. The chainsaw fight is great. But again, it is kind of schlocky at points. Does move a little slower at points, but I am a big fan of it. A couple years ago, I probably would have put this at number 2. But for now, I'm going to have it at number 3, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Do we know why it took 10 years to make the second one? Like, is it known out there? Was it in the documentary or anything? We don't know.
I know
Okay.
Toby Hooper wanted to do another one right away.
Uh-huh.
And I know that's all I know is he wanted to do another one right away, but stuff kept falling through. So
yeah, like it always did.
I do know.
Yeah, I can understand that. But to go from the first one to that one, I'm just like, what happened? I get it was 10 years. That's a long time. But and the 80s was a little zany, but how did we get there?
Yeah, like when he's putting the chainsaw on her crotch, I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did everybody do their number 3 so I didn't fuck it up?
Yes.
Okay. I hated The Mist. I'm sorry. I did like it a lot. I thought it was fun. Ju-On Origins and Alice in Borderlands on Netflix are both amazing. Haven't seen either one of them. Ju-On the Origins, that's on Netflix. I'd like to see that.
Ju-On was a little slow burn for me, but it had good potential for sure. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
Definitely worth a watch. Yeah,
it is worth a watch. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. I think it's still there. Yeah.
We'll check it out.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Texas Chainsaw. The beginning, the kill with the biker was amazing. I just subbed to you on YouTube, Jennifer. Can't wait to follow all of your social medias after the stream. She appreciates it very much, I promise.
I do.
Chucky, Creepshow, and curious to see what other franchise they might try to adapt. From what we've heard, and I can't give away too many sources here, there is a Saw TV series in the works right now that's in production. So I would like to see how they're going to do that, because we know that the 9th movie is coming out as well. What people don't get is Spiral is not the 9th Saw movie. Spiral is its own movie. Saw 9 is coming out. So I do like how Toby Hooper did want to go for a different tone with Texas 2 and not go with wash, rinse, repeat by copying the first one. Too many horror sequels fell into that trap of being the same. I do agree with that. That is something I do agree with. Shine number 2, the original. So beautifully well done and shot, very ahead of its time, despite how dated in acting and quality is. I love how deeply disturbing it is. Steve wants to take you out on a date, Jennifer.
All right, let's go.
I can agree with that. And Dennis Hopper just seemed to be having a blast with it. Shaim says, Steve, let's share Jennifer. I would like to take her to Hot Topic on our first date.
Hell yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's do it.
There was a lawsuit, I believe, that kept them from making a sequel because of rights issues. There you go, Jennifer.
Got you. Got you.
Question for the group. Was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 out there for Toby to get a hit after other movies not going so well? Was Life Force after or before? I don't know about Life Force, but I could see that with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, he was definitely going more for a comedic route to maybe get a better hit in theater, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't do so well upon its original release. So I could see that maybe that would be it. What do you think, my love?
I don't know.
All the movies are so bad. I don't care. What's up, Jennifer? Do you think he was going for something more like that?
That actually makes a lot more sense. If that was definitely his route, that makes more sense, because I'm sure that if he tried to make it more gritty and raw and gross and gruesome and stuff, yeah, he probably wouldn't have gotten a theatrical release, especially, what was it, 86? Yeah. I'm sure, yeah, it was probably a weird time. Like all the 80s was.
Sean says the 74 film was better as a one and done, because let's be honest, after that and the remake, I think the other is fairly mediocre to horrible. That's fair. Jennifer, the simp value for you is very understandable. This is flattery. Everybody's simping for you, Jennifer.
Ah,
I sound like such
you.
an old man when I say it.
Simping.
Everybody's simping. Get off my lawn. It's more on the focus of Spiral. I agree. Well, so the TV series is on.
The series
on Spiral.
Oh.
See, I heard the series is focused on John Kramer. I know the new movie coming out is about a prequel of John Kramer, but I heard the series is about that as well. We'll have to see. Nathan says my number 2 is the original Texas Chainsaw. I'm so happy I stumbled on this channel on Twitter. You guys are so fun. I love the live streams. Thank you. We're so glad you came here too, and we hope to keep impressing you as we go. We'd love to have you guys here. I've said it before. We do these live streams because Ash and I get to hang out with some of our friends and talk about horror movies, but we also get to hang out with you guys in the comments and read your guys' opinions. It means so much to us. We look forward to these all week. I understand they've got a Friday franchise lawsuit updated, and maybe we'll see a new film in the series. You will be seeing new Friday the 13th films probably in 5 to 10 years. As much as that pains me to say, the first part of the lawsuit's over, but there's still some more work that needs to be done. But the good guys won. That's what I will say. So now we are up to number 2. Jennifer, would you like to start us off with your number 2?
Let's do it. So my number 2 is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh, okay.
2. I mean, it's a classic. It's nostalgia. It's just freaky and weird. It has a good story. I enjoy all the kills. Just a little kooky at the end. I mean, I guess we should expect that from a family. But yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty racy for its generation too. I just didn't like his mask. It's so like clown-ish.
Yeah,
I get that.
But yeah, overall, I mean, I could watch that over and over and over again and still find new things to discover while watching that film. I don't think I even realized, like, when she was sitting at the table for dinner, that those were arms, like actual human arms on that chair. I don't think I ever really noticed that until this time around. Grandpa's creepy. Yeah,
he's the best at killing.
I'd love to hang out with the family, though. I think that'd be dope. You know, it'd be
for sure.
Screaming good time, but
you may have to eat a person or two.
Yep. I'm Malvolia. I'm happily do that.
Right. It's not the first time.
Not the first time.
So number 2 for me, which is way higher than anybody I've ever met, and please hear me out. Leatherface from 2017, the 8th installment. Now, I love the beginning. When you have the engine dropping on Betty, I just loved that. I thought that was so cool looking. Hey, real quick, Strange Monkey, stuck at work, jumping in to say hello. Hey,
Hi,
buddy.
Strange
We're
Monkey.
so glad to see you. Now, very graphic. You know, I think that Leatherface is the most graphic. It's the most slasher of all the films, and everybody that knows me knows I love slashers. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise really isn't slashery, but this one is very slasher. I think it's the most slasher of the bunch. The biggest downfall for me is the fact that Bud is not Leatherface.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get a movie having a twist, but that was a dumb
Like, that should not have been a
twist.
Yeah.
No, like, sometimes the most obvious thing is the right thing.
Right.
And having him be Leatherface would have been the perfect cap to that. I did not like that twist at all. Where you didn't like the diner scene, I loved it. Let's start some shit. Then they stab the dude in the neck. Like, I did like that. I thought that was badass. When Bud curb stomps Ike on that tree was fucking intense. I love a good curb stomping. Watching Leatherface make his first mask was cool. And
Yeah,
Lizzie's
special effects were
decapitation.
incredible. Yeah.
Like, watching Lizzie just get her head completely chopped off.
Don't fuck with a mama's boy.
Yeah. This isn't you. This is your crazy mom.
Yeah.
You done fucked up.
Don't call my mom crazy.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. Now, have you given your number 2 yet, love?
No.
All right. You want to give us your number 2?
Mine is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Reboot. I did, however, enjoy that movie. I love the scene where the hitchhiker gets where she commits suicide. You can see the hole in her head, and then you see everybody's reaction through the hole. I thought that was awesome.
That is cool as hell.
It kicked off the era of reboots for sure. I love Jessica Biel. She's hot in that movie. And then I like the part where Leatherface takes her boyfriend's face and puts it on his, and then he like turns to her and you see his face. Like, I think that's really awesome.
That is probably my favorite shot of the whole movie.
Yeah, that's a really cool
I
shot.
love that shot.
Yeah, and the only thing I didn't like was the whole stolen baby thing. Like, I thought that was kind of silly, but
That was definitely thrown in. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I enjoyed that movie.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's lower on my list, but it's still enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's one of the films in this franchise that is enjoyable. Now, before we get to number 1, I want to catch up on the comments real quick. Now, ladies, when we read our number 1, we're going to read from number 8 to number 1. So that way people that came in a little bit late will know what our whole list was, if that's okay with you, ladies.
Yep.
We already did that. Nathan's number 1 is the remake. We already talked about Strange Monkey, our buddy. Speaking of commentary, it's wild to hear what they went through with the first film, including Gunnar getting fed up with cutting. Oh my gosh. Another thing about the original, we'll talk about it in a second. I haven't talked about the original yet. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the best. See, you just lost me, buddy. We just talked about how much we love you, and you're going to say some shit like that. Part 2 is my favorite. Texas 74. I do like the grittiness of it, but I do think it's overrated. The acting is fairly bad, and I don't really like the family or characters, which I do in the remake. Every time Jennifer drinks her seltzer, everyone do a shot. The remake, I think, is the best of the franchise, better than Halloween, Nightmare, and Friday. I mean, I'm going to still say that the Friday is my favorite remake of that quad right there, but it is hard to be Arlie Ermy just chewing scene. Yeah. Every scene he's in, he's just chewing scenery, and I love it. Okay, so I will start us off here. Now, like I said, where you're going to start, I'll read from number 8 all the way down to number 1. So coming in number 8 for me was Leatherface from 1990, the 3rd installment. Number 7 was The Next Generation, the 4th installment. Number 6 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, the 6th installment. Number 5, Texas 3D, the 7th installment. Number 4 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Remake, the 5th installment from 2003. Number 2 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Number 3 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Number 2 was Leatherface from 2017, the 8th installment. And number 1, obviously for me, is going to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original from 1974. One thing I want to talk about with this, when they were filming that dinner table scene, it was so epic and so hot in the Texas weather that Gunnar Hansen kept throwing up.
Yeah, they
Leatherface.
were in there for like 10 hours or something.
Yeah, and he had to
like
keep
that.
running off screen to throw up.
Yeah.
And Everybody talks. Listen, please don't misconstrue what I'm about to say. Everybody says that Jamie Lee Curtis is the Scream Queen. However, this whole dinner table scene shows that Marilyn Burns is the Scream Queen. Look at the amount of screaming. She's just sitting there screaming and screaming. She's there for 10 hours, guys. And she just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And like, you can't replicate how amazing that scene is. And I will go as far as to argue that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from '74 is not a slasher at all. It is just strictly an art film. You look at the scenery, you look at the shots, you look at the score. It has one of the most iconic shots ever. Here's a little bit of a spoiler. Our film that we made, Home is Where the Haunt Is, will be released here relatively soon. And there's a shot where the main actor, this really sexy guy, who is it, the main actor?
I don't know.
He's walking up to the house, and we actually did a shot like Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the below shot on the back. And it wasn't because we're ripping the movie off. It was just to pay homage to a shot that we love in a movie that we love very much. And
they do try to replica that shot in a lot
but
of
the problem is that
they do. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't succeed. Yeah.
They don't at all.
Right.
No.
And there's so much about this movie. And another thing, everybody shits on Franklin. I fucking love Franklin.
Oh.
He's so mad.
It's funny when you talk about Texas Chainsaw, people are like, "Oh, that movie's so gross, it's so bloody." No, it isn't. Like, if you go back and rewatch it, like I said, it's more of an art film than it is a slasher. There's not a bunch of blood and guts and murder. Like, it's a fucking fantastic movie, and I think that's the reason why the rest of these movies fall so flat, is because the first one to me is just so good, and the amount of peril and heartache and dedication that cast went through to make that film what it was makes me appreciate that film even more, because they were getting their asses kicked. It was over 100 degrees when they were filming
in
that.
Texas heat is not.
And you know that the bugs and the smells from,
Yeah.
because like even the bones in the house were real
Yeah,
roadkill.
but didn't they have like real meat and stuff on the table?
Yes, and like, you know, in the
Ugh.
heat and the smells, and that's why Marilyn Burns was screaming so much. So number one for me is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Would you like to read your number 8 to number 1, my love?
Absolutely. Number 8 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. 7 is Leatherface, 1990. 6 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. 5 is Leatherface, 2017. 4 was Texas Chainsaw 3D. 3 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. 2 was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, and 1 is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For pretty much all the same reasons that you said. The cinematography is amazing. It was a very influential of its time. I guess it's not really a slasher, but it kind of is. I mean
you can classify it as slasher.
He slashes people, so.
You can totally classify it as a slasher, and I would respect it. Just to me, I feel like it's more art than slash. But
yeah,
to each their own, my love. You're prettier and smarter than me.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I like that movie. It's a good movie.
Don't lie. You know that you love Franklin.
No, Franklin annoyed the shit out of me.
I kept watching her. Like, when we were watching the movie, every time Franklin had a scene in dialogue, she audibly went.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
It was an audible.
Yeah.
I just wonder why that was the choice. Why couldn't he just grunt or yell? Why is that?
He's just so whiny, and I get it. Like, you're in a wheelchair and you can't go upstairs. I'm sorry, buddy, but damn.
Yeah.
Like calm down. But yeah, it's a good movie.
Way to handicap shame.
No,
we get it. You're in a wheelchair,
no,
Franklin.
That sucks, and I really wish that they had like.
She, dude. Everybody that knows you knows you. You're the most genuine kind. She's the literal hero. For people that are new here, Ashley's a respiratory therapist. She's battled through COVID. She's saved numbers of lives. She's a literal hero. She does not think ill on anybody ever. So, yes, I'm kidding, and my jokes are sometimes out of line. So Ashley would never ever joke or be like that towards anybody. She's a literal angel.
I don't shame on handicapped people, Ken.
Yeah. Can you take that knife out of my side now? I said you were.
I know, thank you. But I do think Grandpa, his makeup in that one, he was scary.
He was a teenager.
Yeah, he was a teenager, but his makeup looked really good.
Yeah.
And that sound when they do the pictures, that iconic.
The flash bulb?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Wish we had that sound effect.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
You did a pretty good job. It was pretty good.
Sound for sound, that was probably the best one that's ever been done.
Yeah.
So, do you want to redo your list and give us your number one, Jennifer?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so my number 8 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre New Gen. My 7 was Leatherface Part 3, 1990. My number 6 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. 5 was Leatherface, 2017. 4 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Number 3 was Texas Chainsaw 3D. Number 2 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. And then my number 1, drum roll, please. I like the reboot.
Okay.
The reason I like the reboot, and I'll tell you all this story, was if you kind of know me, like a lot of things don't affect me. I don't really get into movies, you know, like when people are at the movie theater and they're cheering and stuff. Like I'm just more of like a visual person. I'm never just like in it. And I started to watch the reboot with an ex, and we were watching it, and for some reason I was getting like these like chills, like it was like a real thing that we were watching, like a real true crime documentary, and I was starting to get these chills and stuff. And when they ever put him on that hook,
Yeah.
I had to stop the movie. I was like, I don't think I can watch this anymore. Like I for some reason could just kind of feel everything that they were feeling, and it was like I was there. And it just grossed me out. We waited 24 hours until we finished watching that movie. It had such an effect on me, and I think that's why I like it so much. It's because it's like it's gritty, it's the ambience. You can just feel, you can kind of smell when that body is decaying in the back of the van, you know, and they're like, clean it up, and like their reactions and how they're feeling towards everything. I just felt like everything was so real and in the moment, and it was stunningly shot, creative you know, shots they came up with. Very nitty gritty. Jessica Biel, she is not my favorite. I could care less about her, but she is banging in this movie. Her body is rocking. It made me start running again because I'm like, I want a body like that. Like she was killer. My favorite part of that movie is the whole like dairy scene when they're in the meat place and she's running and it's water and it's just so nitty gritty, gross, and I just love it.
That's so awesome. Now, as always, I'm going to catch up on the chat. We are done with our ranking, but if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask for me, Ashley, or Jennifer, please ask away. We will be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Maybe not any.
Right.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. So this week on Sledgehammer Horror, Ashley just filmed a short you guys can see on the channel, but we have Rudy's movie reviews, his first horror movie on Tuesday. On Thursday, we have Joy Tanner from Lock and Key and Degrassi. We have her first horror movie. We will not be doing a live this week because of Christmas. We want to take extra special time to be with our families because that's the most important right now. If we've learned anything from the lockdowns and the COVID and all that, we really got to spend time with our family, not take it for granted. So we will not have a live this week, but next week we'll be doing our most disappointing horror movies of all time. I know that we got Ryan 1988 coming on with that one. I don't know who our next guest will be, but I promise you it'll be someone special. I'm just trying to get it locked in. Now I'm going to catch up with the chat. Shane says, number 1, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03 remake. Unintentionally hilarious to me at times, deeply disturbing and gritty. Love the characters, and hello, Jessica Biel was bae as hell, and Arlie Ermy stole the show. Yes. Ranking. Here's Sean's. Next Generation, Leatherface 17, Texas 3, 2, 3D, 74, The Beginning, the remake. Man, see, I'm the only one that has Leatherface that high. After this, I'd like to know where you rank the characters among others. Are you talking about Leatherface or like the characters in the film, Cal? My all-time favorite is Marilyn Burns. She was Aldo and Helter Skelter. Yes. I think the weather was over 100 degrees when they did the dinner scene. Yes, it was. How miserable, and yet they made it that great. I would agree the Friday remake is the best of the big three. The hate it gets is beyond nonsense. I prefer Texas Chainsaw Massacre just a bit more, which is absolutely fair. I thought Toby was trying hard to get a PG, which was old style PG. Yeah, and that's crazy because I mean, well, he succeeded with Poltergeist in getting a PG because at this time they didn't have PG-13, but there was no way Texas was going to get, unless you're talking about with Texas 2, but there was no way Texas was going to get that. Frank was my favorite character in the original. He was hilarious as hell, and his innocence was just wholehearted to watch. Too bad he didn't survive. Rob met Marilyn Burns before she died, and she told him she actually was scared, and that's why she was screaming so much. I believe that. I loved when Gunnar talked about how he slipped and lost the chainsaw in the air and had to duck. Yes, he had to like literally duck and roll because he was scared. Ashley is awesome.
Thank you.
I agree. And Father Mahoney says it's awesome that you met her, Rob. Rob and Kaylee from that horror couple are fucking amazing too, guys. That's so crazy. I had the complete opposite reaction. The original affected me, but the remake I love because I just have a ball with it. In the 2003 remake, when Leatherface opens that sliding door, it freaked me out. You always love the Leatherface slide. You know,
it's a must.
That's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like this right here. Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fluid horror is to each of us. Yes, it is. Can't wait for the Slashers Part 2. Ken, appreciate you, brother. I got you, man. I'd love to do it. Family first before anything else, yes. Jennifer, how can I follow you on social media? She's very easy to find. Just Jennifer Nangle or Malvolia, Queen of Screams, and you won't regret it. We love you guys. We love you too. So before we go, any questions you guys might have for us or for Jennifer, we know where, again, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel right down here in the description, you guys. What's your favorite Christmas movie and your most underrated Christmas movie? Mine is Fred Claus, very underrated. And my favorite Christmas movie has to be The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. My favorite Christmas movie.
Does it have to wait? Does it have to be like
horror?
A horror
No,
Christmas movie?
no.
Oh, okay.
My favorite Christmas movie isn't a horror movie. Do you know what's my favorite Christmas movie?
Your favorite Christmas movie is the Griswolds Family Vacation.
Christmas Vacation,
Christmas
for sure.
Yeah.
Most underrated Christmas? I don't know, because I don't watch a lot of Christmas movies. I mean, like, most of them are horror. You know, like, we watch Black Christmas, Gremlins, Krampus.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like Christmas Vacation. I like Home Alone and Home Alone 2, even though I cry like a fucking baby every time we watch Home Alone 2. Yeah, I mean, Santa Claus is great. You know what? I'm going to say Santa Claus 2 as an underrated Christmas movie because everybody talks about the Santa Claus, but I think I like the Santa Claus 2 better than the Santa Claus. So I'll go with the Santa Claus 2 as my underrated one. What about you, my love?
My favorite's probably the Grinch. I just love the whole how his heart grows.
I'll get there someday.
Yeah, we're working on it. No. And then most underrated. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Yeah.
What about you, Jennifer?
I am the Grinch. I don't have any favorite Christmas movies. I mean, Charlie Brown, right?
I understand him. Like, he didn't hate Christmas. He hated people.
Yeah. I feel him.
Yeah.
That camera noise is iconic, too. Yeah, it totally is. Bill, have a good night. Or William, I'm sorry. Have a great night. Enjoy. Take a Skippy for a walk. Top horror theme soundtracks next year. Yes, it is. We've already got that in the works. I'm just trying to get a musical buddy of mine that has a very hectic schedule right now in on that one, Daniel. But yes, I promise you that one is happening. Done and headed to Twitter to follow as well. Thank you all for a great evening. Now I have decided what I'm going to watch. If you have to decide what you're going to watch, you can't go wrong with Krampus.
Yeah.
We love watching Krampus this time of year.
Krampus is a good one, yeah.
Thoughts on Rob Zombie directing new monsters? I talked about it pretty much already. You know, I hope that he stays true. I hope we get some comedy out of it. I just don't want it to be Rob Zombie, if that makes any sense. Like, I want him to go out on a limb. I want him to try something different that he hasn't done yet. Don't give me the trailer trash family. Dude, don't give me a bunch of.
He's casting the same people over and over and over again.
Right.
It's not going to be any
Wife
different.
stripping and
Yeah. Well, you know, I can't say anything because if I was making a film, the first person I would cast is her.
I'm not stripping though.
I tried.
You can always get a body double.
What's that?
You can always get a body double.
Doesn't need one. My favorite Christmas movie is Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Edward Scissorhands is number 2. I can see that for sure. Random, but the original Texas Chainsaw got banned in theaters for a while when it came out. See,
Wow.
I love that. Like, that is so awesome to me. Like how Evil Dead got banned in countries and The Exorcist was getting pulled from theaters. You wouldn't see shit like that today. Like, people talk about how people today are soft. They pulled movies from theaters back then because they were too scary. So, I mean, it's not the fact that people are soft now. It's the fact that you have social media so people can actually give their opinions on everything.
Yeah.
You don't see movies getting pulled from cinemas now. So, one I think is overrated is Miracle on 34th Street. Matilda. Yeah, little Matilda's in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Favorite holiday horror movie? Deaths. Black Christmas. You know, yeah, I love, even though you don't see it, I love when Olivia Hussey kills her abusive boyfriend. People can say he's not abusive. Listen, just because he didn't put his hands on her, that dude's fucking abusive throughout the original Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to get an abortion. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I failed my piano lesson, so you're going to drop out of college. And she's like, no, I'm not. Your life got fucked. Mine didn't. You know, so I love the feminism. Like, that's a real feminist movie for me, the original Black Christmas. It shows how powerful women can be. And Olivia Hussey doesn't take no shit in that movie. This is back in 1974. And she's talking about, I'm going to get an abortion because I'm not ready for this. I'm not dropping out of college because you failed. Like, I love the fact that she's like, I am me. I'm not going to do what a man tells me to do because it's beneficial for him. So I always go back to that movie. What about you? Your favorite Christmas horror movie
It would be
kills?
from that movie too. Is it like a unicorn?
The unicorn base
The
or
unicorn
the bus?
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Kill. That's pretty good.
What about you, Jennifer?
How about all the kills and Thanksgiving?
Nice tits, bitch. Krampus is a great Christmas movie, a yearly watch. That, and I love Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the remake in Black Christmas 1974 for Christmas slashers. Yeah, we love all the Christmas slasher movies. My favorite Christmas movie is Death in the Yellow Paint. Can be Death. Better watch out. Yes, the yellow paint can that dropped when they're trying the Home Alone stuff. That was pretty cool. I did like that. Ever see Black Christmas 2019? I hear it's worse than the 2006 remake. Yes, it is.
It doesn't even feel like a Black Christmas movie.
It doesn't.
Really.
And it just, like, listen, I'm all about movies that have a message to them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference between being a good feminist movement and shitting on men. And Black Christmas 2019 was not made to show the power of women. It was made to just shit on men. So that's what really bummed me out about that movie, is the fact that you didn't empower the women in this movie. You just shit on all the men. Like, and to me, there's a huge difference.
Literally. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. There's a huge difference between empowering women and shitting on men. You can empower women while not just being like, oh, every single dude in the world is a piece of shit. You know, like, just because certain dudes are pieces of shit, that doesn't give women power. Women have power because they overcome these things that happen to them. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling now, but that's why I didn't like Black Christmas 2019. I thought it was just way too on the nose with everything it did. Day of the Beast is the best Christmas movie ever. I have never seen Day of the Beast, so we're going to have to check that out.
All right. Christmas movie.
Yeah, we'll always check anything out. Well, Jennifer, we want to thank you. It looks like the chat is all caught up. We want to thank you so much for coming out and spending time with us. You know that we love working with you, and we cannot wait to work with you again. This has been such a great time. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come hang out with us in the chat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes. We'd love to have you back. Everybody, Jennifer, don't hang up. We got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Everybody else, thank you so much for watching. Please, I know I said it before, but I'll say it again. Make sure you're subscribing to all of Jennifer's things. It's right down here in the description. If this is your first time here at Sledgehammer Horror, click that subscribe button. We will promise to try not to let you down. We can't wait to see you on the next live, which will be a week from Wednesday. Will be the next live, and we'll be doing the most disappointing horror movies. Not our least favorites, but ones we went into super excited about that completely let us down. So the most disappointing horror movies next Wednesday. Until then, guys, keep talking horror. Stay what you are. And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys.